Noon, morning, night, whatever time it is there. Welcome to Millionaires Are Made. Another episode today. It's going to be great. Our show is all based on the belief where you can be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. Today, we're focusing on your social health, how to create good relationships, how to be wanted and valued as a human in your social circles. We're going to be talking about phone calls. Very interesting topic. I don't even know if they happen anymore. Maybe it's an obsolete topic. We will find out. Millionaires Are Made. We do episodes on your physical health, mental health, spiritual health, financial health, and intellectual health, as well as today's episode on social health. Our show is built on the fundamental belief that every person you ever meet knows something that you don't, and that there's something to be learned from everyone. So we've brought 3 awesome guests with 3 very diverse backgrounds onto the show to give you a little insight on how to improve your social health with phone calls in the spirit of authenticity and to remove any possible bias of me. I don't even know or meet the guests until about 15 minutes before the show so that they can keep their tips authentic from their own personal lives. Audience, if you're watching this, help us. Please comment, question. We will answer your questions live on air when you ask them. It's going to be great. Please also don't forget to like, share, subscribe wherever you're watching it. Help us grow. We'd love to share information from everyone around the world for everyone around the world in order to build a stronger, safer, better community and society. Podcasters, if you need guests, we've got 3 right here. 4, actually. I'd love to be on your show as well. If you need a guest for your podcast, please reach out to one of us. We will be dropping all the social links for our guests, audience. Also, please like and share our guests. If you like what they say, all of us are available. That being said, audience, if you want to be a guest, please sign up. We're always looking for new guests. And as you can tell, we believe you got something to share. Everyone's got at least something to tell someone about something. So sign up, www.millionairesaremade.com. That link is being dropped right now. Click it, sign up, be a guest, come say hi, and share your knowledge with the world. On that note, we also need more topics. So if there's anything in your life you might be struggling with, you might need a little more insight on, or you want to just hear an outsider's opinion, shoot it to us. It can be anonymous. It doesn't have to be. We will go out and we will find 3 guests with tips on that topic to help you move through it. We love this. This whole show is created just to share knowledge and give it. We believe that everyone should know just about everything. So we're working our way through every topic we can possibly think of in order to give out free information. And we also do offer free coaching. So if you want one-on-one, more in-depth information on a topic, feel free to sign up. That link is being dropped as well. And again, please like, share, send stars, yada, yada. And without further ado, we're going to get into my tip. This is something I just created last week, actually. It is essentially, it's all about phone calls and social health. It's about all health. But I am now pushing the whole belief that everyone should have a board of directors in their personal lives. So here's what it is. There's 6 aspects of health. Pick 1 to 3 people that you think are way better than you in that aspect. So social health. Find the 3 people that have amazing social health. They've got deep relationships. They have people they talk to all the time. You can tell, I wish that I was a little more like them. And here's the kicker. You have to have at least a 15-minute phone call every week with every one of your board members. So if you want to improve your social health, call someone that has great social health and spend 15 minutes with them every week. That's my little tip. And now we're going to learn from some others. First up, we're going to have Francis.
Hi, Austin. Hi, everybody.
Hey, who are you?
So I'm Francis Helena, and I'm about transforming lives through sustainable fashion. So we are called Beautifully Diverse Fashion, but we basically take professional models and people who have never walked runway and bring them together. And then we basically relate to each other by personal experiences, whether you're a mother, whether you're a domestic violence survivor, whatever it is. So we basically bring everybody, put them on the runway. We've just been doing this for about a year. We've done New York Fashion Week. We've done Black History Month down in Philadelphia. And we've had models such as Victoria Henley from America's Next Top Model, Brandon Barroso, the husband of Miss Universe Aruba 2020. And we've had basically people who are just in everyday society as well, domestic violence victims, mothers, because there's a stigma towards mothers about being in fashion just because they have had children. So we basically take everybody from around the world and we bring them together. We also provide jobs for people who have been impacted by, I know in the Caribbean, our graphic designer was impacted by a hurricane just before the COVID.
Irma and Marie.
So we've basically been trying to put them out there, and we're all about collaborating, just send people to, connect with people online mainly. So that's what we do, and we're about sustainability. So if you don't like your outfit, I can take it, turn it into something else, and we can, create magic.
I love it. Your mission sounds a lot like Millionaires Are Made. Yeah, sharing knowledge and helping everyone that learn your industry.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because we can, learn. It doesn't matter what language we speak and everything. We can find some way to connect. So that's important.
I love it. All right, Francis, if I wanted to improve my social health with phone calls, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
I think to not be afraid to pick up the phone. I think, nowadays, okay, yes, we text, we're behind a screen, but it's really important to just not be afraid. Like I, for example, am originally from Australia. So I basically call my relatives, at different hours. They're sort of like, oh, I'm just going to bed, So it's, even though it's just minor stuff like that, it's just important just to pick up the phone, because a phone call, it goes actually a long way. It doesn't matter if it's your mom, dad, a business partner, that level of just talking to somebody through the phone and just hearing their voice and the expression of their tone can actually go a long way.
That is very, very true. Very true. Where on your life journey did you learn this piece of information?
I think for me personally, I came from a place where I was a pen pal. So I had met a friend of
Ooh.
mine at an airport, and we lived in two different cities. So we were living in Malaysia at the time, but I just saw her. We always seemed to have the same flight connecting. Like her mom and I would go somewhere. Her mom and her, and then my mom and I, and then we would just randomly see each other all the time, the same time at this airport. So we became really good friends, and we've kept in touch all those years just through letters. And I still have like all the letters that go back in the day. Even when I moved to different parts of the world, I kept all my letters from Australia, so it goes back to that sort of time. And I think there was a time before social media, right? It was sort of like you could just go to somebody's house. So I'm also from the Eastern culture. I'm Filipino. And, when I went to my mom's province, so, people just come over. You don't need to call. There's still no Wi-Fi there. So, you just have, someone's always home at the house. So you just come over, and it wasn't like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? It's like, oh, hey, come have a coffee. Here's some food, So it's really, that's pretty much how I learned to also, not be afraid of really just, I guess, speaking now that everything's through social media and it's through phone calls. There were times where you remember those old dial-up phones, you would call and you would have to hope in your mind that that person could understand that you were trying to ring them and get off the internet. You could hear that funny noise and have to wait.
Yeah.
So, so that's pretty much where that sort of come from for me. But also it's really been a confidence thing, because I wasn't a confident person actually as a teen. So I hate talking in front of people. And it was really a thing where I've learned to sort of, it helps me to just speak to a person, whether it's in person or on the phone. So that's how I've sort of built that confidence. Really, it's more about the connection really than just the phone call itself.
Awesome, Francis. I love your insight. Pretty cool little story you got too. Yeah, almost reminds me of like Seinfeld in the '90s, where they just show up and ring the bell. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Awesome, Francis. We're gonna move on to our next guest. Thank you so much. Next up, we've got Hayden. Hayden, who are you?
Hey, Austin. Thanks for having me again. I am a dad, first and foremost. I've got two beautiful kids, one named Philippa, one named Cassius. She's 3 and he is 4 months old.
Have you
And I
taught
have
him
to
how to
say
use the
they
phone
are
yet?
No, but they do pick it up and put it to their ear and
Okay.
pretend that someone's there. So it won't be long before they're a whiz and teaching me how to use it properly, I'm sure.
There you go.
Firstly, I am a dad. Before anything, next comes husband, and after that, I'm a mindset and performance coach. Now that is dealing with the thoughts, beliefs, perspectives, opinions, and views that cause us to feel what we feel, do what we do, and get what we get in life. And I have a
Okay.
wonderful example I'd love to share with you. So
Yes.
imagine tomorrow morning you wake up and you're in Richard Branson's body.
Ooh.
You're now the co-founder of over 400 companies. Imagine the level of accountability and responsibility you now have. How many people want your time? How many people want your attention? Where do you start? I
I go
know,
back.
right? That's the
I go back
answer
to
that
bed.
everyone gets. I have no idea. Yeah, exactly. Hide away. Okay, let's flip. Let's flip. Now imagine Richard Branson wakes up in your body tomorrow, in your life, facing your challenges. What do you think is going to happen to your business and your life when Richard Branson is at the helm?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, well, I mean, he could do nothing, or he could maybe it's a sigh of relief, and he'll just go
Back to
back to bed
bed.
too.
Yeah. So what I do with people is I have them become aware of how they created their thoughts, beliefs, perspectives, opinions, and views, how to remove them and create ones that are actually matching their vision, their goals, what they're up to in life. What that does is removes the fear, the anxiety, the doubt, the sadness, the upset, all those nasty things we don't want in our life. That's what I do for work. I love it. I'm passionate about it. And what I want to remind everyone, there's a stigma of us coaches out there. They think we know it all. They think we're perfect. It's not true. I'm a man. I was born into this world knowing nothing. I've tried to figuring it out. I've learned some things. I've gained some things that work, and now I share them with others. That's all. Just
That's
like
it.
you, I put my pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, we talked a little bit about coaches on the last call and the last episode. It's essentially you're just buying their experience and their knowledge. So if you think that
Yeah,
person has what you want to be, good. Go hire them as a coach. Go pay them. You know, they may know something specific that you may not know. You can pay them for that knowledge. I mean, like we had a stock investor for 50 years. It's like if you want to learn stocks, you can spend 50 years, or you can give him a few $100 or a few $1,000 and take all his knowledge that you can. But just like you said, I mean, all coaches have flaws, and we don't know everything. Hopefully, we know at least one thing pretty well. But let's move forward, Hayden. I've got a very important question for you. If I wanted to improve my social health with phone calls, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
it's a tiny piece of advice and it will change your life. Now, if you've got your
Oh,
phone in your hand and you're frustrated or annoyed or angry, upset, and you're typing away and you're typing away and you're trying to get your ideas out, and your text is starting to look like it's longer than the page, type out the message, clarify your thoughts, and then press delete. Do not send it. Pick up the phone and have the conversation.
I
You're
love it.
missing way too much information if you're sending a text, and it just doesn't work. So, what I like to say is text is for teenagers, but grown ups make a phone call.
Text for teenagers, grown-ups make a phone call. I love it. I wonder how that's
Yeah,
gonna age in 20 years. We'll find out. I agree with
we'll
that, though. I
see.
mean, communication is key. I mean, one of the biggest things that I ever respond when I'm any coaching client is, did you communicate that clearly to them? And they almost always like, I guess I could have done a little more. I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, if you didn't even call them, then it's really hard to communicate clearly. That's a great
Yeah.
tip. Where in your life did you learn that, Hayden?
That's a good question, and I don't know if there's a definitive answer. It's an accumulation of really struggling to have my life work and make relationships work. And through consistent looking and development, I've come upon that you have to be in communication with people. The most recent training I've taken with Landmark Worldwide, that totally brought it out. It's like I cannot influence a person, connect with a person, or transform a person through text. it has to be over the phone where I can hear what are they committed to? What's the emotion behind their message? What are they not telling me? Is this true? Does this really align? Are they telling me what they mean or are they hiding something? And I can hear all that when I'm talking to them. I don't get that in a text. So it
Yep.
just doesn't work.
That's so true. Very true. Very true. Well, Hayden, your time has come to an end. You did very well for 5 minutes, so you dropped a lot of insight. Thank you. We'll bring you back out in just a second. We're going to
Awesome.
move on to Shay. Shay, who are you?
Well, hey, Austin, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. I am a energetic catalyst for change and fearless communicator. I am
Wow, I love that.
I am a CEO of Sparks of Fire International, where we spark leaders to find, use, and share their voice through coaching, podcasts, and publications. I'm also the co-founder of Firestarters Book Project, and I am all about finding your voice because your voice is your biggest asset.
Damn. Well, then this sounds like the perfect episode to have you on, Shay.
Absolutely.
All right, let's ask you a super important question. If I wanted to improve my social health with phone calls, what piece of advice would you give me?
Well, when I think of social health, I think of community. And so
Great.
building a support system is key to building a good community. And that support system is, someone who is going to validate you, going to listen to you, understand you, but also kick you in the pants if you need it. They might, say, hey, are you going to be in this pity party for another month or another week or another day? Or are you going to get out there and do something that's going to actually help you? So, building that support system is crucial.
Love it. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So, build your support system. Cool. All right. Well, let's. What on your life journey taught you to learn this piece of advice?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, I was in AA at a very young age, and they have you do what's called, have a sponsor. And my sponsor actually was not there for me.
Only by
And
text. Very short texts.
was not even there. Like,
Oh man.
didn't show up, wasn't available, it was only in our weekly meetings that it was that she was present. So there was, in theory, it sounded like a great idea, right? A sponsor sounds amazing. And yet I learned through the years, if I become interested in people, then people are going to be interested in me. So I started to learn to ask the questions. And funny enough, I actually went through the Landmark Forum too many years ago, Hayden. So how funny, we got that in common as well. But I learned just from a man who I met through that. He had been going through something with his wife. And I had the experience of being a child going through it with my parents, the same exact thing. And I just learned to listen. I learned to be interested in what he was going through and validate his feelings and then kick him in the pants when needed. Like, how long are you going to be stuck in this story that you've been telling yourself all these years? Or are you going to do something different about it? And at the last day, he hands me something and he says, I have a gift for you. And he said, hold out your hand. And I hold out my hand. And when I held out my hand, he put something in it and then he closed my hand and he said, this is for you. And I opened it, it was a bullet. And he said,
wow.
because of you, I didn't use this on myself.
Holy shit. Okay.
And I was like, right? Blown away. I got chills talking about it now. But just to have that kind of presence with another person is really about listening and being understanding and validating who they are as a person, but also giving that kick in the pants when they need it in a loving way.
Dang, that's pretty powerful. I love it. Thank you, Shay.
Yeah.
Are you ready to bring everyone out and do a little round robin?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's grab Francis. If I can click a button. Oh, good, I got it. And Hayden, and let's start with Francis. Can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us? You're muted. still muted. All right, we're gonna move on while you figure that out. Hayden, can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us?
Can you hear me? Am I muted?
No,
Am I
you
good?
sound great.
You can hear me, good.
Here's a bird singing.
Yeah, my tip: if your text goes more than a page, if there's any emotional charge behind it, write it out, clarify your thoughts, delete it, pick up the phone and make a call.
I love it. Shay, what are your thoughts?
Build a support system. Someone who's going.
What are your
to...
thoughts on Hayden's tip?
What are his thoughts on Hayden? Hayden, I love that because oftentimes I get bored reading and distracted reading the paragraphs of text. And then I end up making that phone call because I'm like, I would rather hear your voice and what's going on. And that way I can help you the best way I can rather than listening to this in this text. And we don't know that connotation, the tone behind the text too. So voice is your biggest asset.
Yeah,
Definitely,
I agree with that.
I
I would say there are more relationships that are like hurt or tarnished by texts and misinterpreted texts than there are that are gained by misinterpreted texts. Much more likely you're like, what the hell are they saying? Then you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And so, like Hayden said, I would definitely say, I mean, I would even go like, if it's more than 2 or 3 sentences, just call. Makes it a lot easier. If you're both available. I mean, sometimes you have to text too. Shay, do you want to refresh what your tip was for us?
Sure. My tip was build a support system. I had to write it down. I'm like, what did I say? Build a support system because it's important to have someone who can validate you, listen to you, and also kick you in the pants when you need it.
I love it. Hayden, thoughts?
Absolutely agree, and I love that perspective. And my friend who's living with me from Canada at the moment came down the stairs this morning and started telling me about this customer he was upset with. And I said, okay, what did she say? Well, she asked me some questions in an email. Where's the problem? But in his mind, he was so reactivated by his own perspective of what was going on. It was triggering him from his past that he couldn't see there was how to deal with it without all that reaction. And by talking to me, we worked through it, and he came to a place of peace and calm, how he's going to handle it now. So I totally agree with that.
Love it.
Francis?
Hi, I don't know what's going on.
All right. So Francis, do you have any thoughts on Hayden? Can you really quick refresh your tip?
Yeah. If the text is more than, you said, 2 sentences, write it out, delete it, pick up the phone and call.
All right, Francis, thoughts?
Yes, I really love that because I think I'm one of them people that would probably one of those people that would actually send that text, but no, I can hear my dad's voice going, no, don't respond to that. So I totally agree with that.
Now you got 2 voices. If you type more than 2 sentences, your dad and Hayden are going to be yelling at you in your head. So be careful because I've heard Hayden scream one time. It was wild. Shay, can you quickly refresh your tip for us?
Absolutely. Build a support system.
Cool. And that also kind of goes along with mine. I just call it a board of directors now, but I'm forcing people that I align closely with to talk to me every week. And that's my new rule. I literally am actually typing up like official emails and saying, you've been invited to my board of director position under social health. Here's the requirements. You have to do a 15-minute call with me each week. And hopefully it's going both ways. Obviously, these are people I know, and I talk to them mostly anyway, so it's not a whole lot of change. I'm just trying to make it cool and official. But I mean, to actually put it on and hold ourselves accountable is kind of where I'm going with that. So it's like your support system, Shay. Mm-hmm. You know, every week I spend 15 minutes with someone I really idolize financially or physically or mentally or intellectually. And so just making sure that even 15 minutes talking to someone else to grow in that health aspect is my new goal. So this was actually a great episode to pop on. It's funny, this show definitely, I don't know if it's just, I don't know what to say, but it's funny that I come up with stuff and then like the next week I'm like, oh, this is like fucking perfect. How did we time it like this? Because I never look at the topics or anything. I try to keep this as fucking authentic as possible. You know, like you all can vouch right now. I literally met you guys like 20 minutes before the show. Hayden I've met before, but I still didn't know what his tip was. I don't talk to anyone. I don't like keep people. It's all fresh new people. And so Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You know, my team finds your guests, and then I just pop on and I just try to keep it authentic. So it's awesome when it happens like that. Francis, what are your thoughts on Shay's tip?
I think that's really great. You know, that really resonates with me, especially because I work with a lot of people who don't speak English as a like it's you know it's a second language. English is regarded as a fourth or fifth language. So you know, when I speak a few languages, so you know, and I worked with refugees and asylum seekers, so that's definitely important to just you know build that connection with them rather than go like fully in.
All right, we've got a comment from the audience that we're going to talk about now. Mike says meeting in person is better after calling them. Shay, I'll let you touch on that.
I have to agree. And, you know, in today's world with Zoom and everything else, thanks COVID, we have the ability to meet in quote unquote some person. But, you know, if you're not in the vicinity within driving distance, it's not always, you know, advantageous to be able to do that. So I love being able to connect with them, even if it's over Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would call this almost in person, you know, face to face, video to video. Francis, what are your thoughts on Mike's comment?
Oh yeah, definitely. So because you know, for me personally, I do business all around the world anyway. So I don't get to meet people till I get to the other side of the world. From like Australia to the US is almost 2-day flight. So, but I've met people that I've been speaking to for almost about a couple of years, and we finally actually met in person, and it's like we've known each other forever. So definitely agree with that.
Hayden, your turn.
Thank you. And thanks, Mike, for the comment. I would say it isn't better. It serves different purposes. And
Okay.
it does demonstrate the care if you're willing to invest the time to go out and meet with someone. I'd also say that a phone call is extremely effective at the same time. So it depends on the context and what you're aiming to achieve with the individual. And if it's a group, I would say in person, there's an energy and a presence. You can whisper, you can poke, you can watch what everyone's doing in the room. And sometimes that can be missed on a Zoom call, depending on who's running the call. So I would say not better. It's dependent on context and what you're aiming to achieve.
Awesome. Thank you for your insight, guys. All right. We've got our my favorite part of the show. We've got to come up with our daily challenge. How do we improve social health with phone calls that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and is available, I guess, to anyone that has a phone from Morocco to Tanzania? Any thoughts? What do you guys got going for you? Yeah, go ahead, Aiden.
What I like to do is if I think about someone, I call them.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Hayden. I love that we're on the same alignment, right? It's a lot of times we'll have people pop in our head for no reason. And with all of the technology with WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, and even our phones, we can send a voice message. And I would send a voice message if you can't physically call them. Just leave them a voice message and say, hey, you're on my mind.
Yes, I totally agree with what Miss Shay just said, because I've sort of now gotten to a point where I'm like, nah, I'm just can't be bothered to text it. So I send voice notes, and then I think the first response is, oh, I love your accent. Oh, I think you sound amazing. And I'm just like, okay, but at least you're happy. So, and then they actually send a voice note back. I know some people who have been put on the spot, and they were sort of like, oh, I didn't realize I'm going to send, but I sent a voice note. So I'm going to send one back to you. So it's really effective.
All right. I think this is going to be an easy daily challenge. Let's actually call someone that we haven't talked to in over a month.
Sounds good.
Cool.
And I agree with Shay that there might be someone that pops in your head, especially if you actually take this challenge seriously. Like, who haven't I talked to? Oh my God. Yeah. I should have called them 5 times ago. It happens to me all the time. Like, I'm like, I haven't talked to him, and oh my God, what the hell? Where's this relationship going?
Yeah.
So, Mike just commented he's not going to call his ex. Thoughts?
Unless you have children.
Lots of thoughts.
Then,
Lots of thoughts.
I have,
Lots of thoughts.
Sounds like he could use a 1-to-1 call with Shay. By the sound of it.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing.
I just told him, I said, stop thinking about your ex. You don't have to call. Uh-oh.
Unless they've got kids together.
He responded, we need an episode on broken hearts.
Yes,
That's
and I
cool.
have other
That's
people
cool.
that can help be on that one as well.
Hey, have them sign up, because as soon as a topic comes in, we put it in the system. So this will
Yeah.
probably show up in a couple months. Actually, honestly, I just had a really good friend that had this. I think we just added this last week. It's still so weird how this show happens sometimes. I'm pretty sure we actually just added to the queue last week. So funny that my pulls it up now. All right, guys. Any last little tidbits? We are wrapping up our show. If you got any last little bits, let's spill them now. Otherwise, we are going to move on and end our show. It's been 30 minutes now.
Be willing to be courageous and make that phone call.
All right. And we'll be tagging you guys as well for this challenge. So every day we got to call someone we haven't talked to in over a month. That's going to be fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to put you all backstage. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We had some awesome tips today. We learned from 3 awesome guests. You know, if you're about to text a massive long text, fucking read it, delete it, and make that call. Our daily challenge is think of someone you haven't talked to in over a month. I'm sure you got someone out there. Could be family, could be friends, could be someone from elementary school. Pick up the phone and call them. It may go straight to voicemail. They may ignore you and may respond with a text, because that's our culture we live in now. But do it anyways. Make the effort. Go for it. Call them. Sponsors, don't forget, they help us fund this and keep it going. Go visit them. So we got InstaFarm, your automated home garden. Go check them out. We also have Pharmaceuticals, local dispensary in Denver, Colorado. We're offering a free joint or 1 penny joints. You can sign up today. All the links are popping up right now. We've got Gunther's Adventures. If you love off-roading and seeing people do crazy things with their cars, go follow them on Insta and check them out. And finally, make sure you tune in next week. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we will have